All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my show. So, what I want to get into today is dating. And the reason I want to get into this is because I did a podcast this week. I also was on some Zoom calls regarding some relationship stuff. And I was doing a lot of, I guess you could say, podcasts and videos on anti aging. And I wanted to kind of segue my way into more of that. But I've been getting hit up a lot from people on comments, messages, texts saying, "Hey, what happened to the relationship stuff?" So I said, "Okay, I'm not going to get nuts and just only do anti-aging. I can bounce between both for a while if that's what people want me to talk about." And what I want to talk about in this podcast really is people limiting themselves when dating. I don't know why they do this, especially if they've been in a marriage, if they've been, and they got a divorce, or if they were in a long-term relationship, or even a short-term relationship. I see a lot of people, I call them one-offs, where they're always kind of wrapping themselves up with one person, which again, if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to it. I just think, from what I've seen throughout the years and what I've gone through, is the better option is to take your time after a relationship ends, in my opinion, if you're, single and you don't have anyone else. And, understand that you have a lot of options, but most people don't see it that way. I see a lot of people after they break up or something happens and they're single, they kind of back to the one-off. They meet one guy or girl, and then they kind of wait around and go, you know what, this person seems very interesting. And they may wait a couple months to see how it works out, start kind of dating, seeing how things pan out, a few months, 6 months, and then it doesn't, right? A lot of times, sometimes it does. But even if it does work out, a lot of times they last a certain amount of time, and then that doesn't work out either. I think a lot of people have gone through this. Or they wrap themselves up with one person for, say, 6 months or a year, and then you kind of know, you kind of know it probably isn't going to work out, and you wasted a year kind of waiting around for this person to maybe turn it around, or maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. But again, you're just focusing in on one person. I think what happens with, especially women, I will say, is I think they get nervous when it comes to dating or even meeting different types of men. But even excluding dating, just having the option of being open-minded enough to say, hey, there's a lot of guys out here. Same with men with women. I will say this too while I'm here. A lot of guys, they think a lot of single guys are out there dating, meeting women on apps and all this stuff. I don't see a lot of that. I think a lot of that's bullshit. There's so many lonely dudes out there that do go on dating apps or go on even online, and they do date. It doesn't work out, and then for months, I'm talking many months and even years, they can't find anyone. They don't date that often, or again, they get wrapped up themselves, maybe wanting someone who at that point in time doesn't want them, or they may work at a certain place, they're interested in someone, they never make the move, or even they may go to a certain restaurant, bar, wherever, the gym, and they're interested in someone, and just sitting around and either waiting for that person to kind of be available if they're in a relationship, or just kind of not really taking it by the balls and really saying, hey, I'd like to meet up with you, or never asking them out. And again, options, you've really got to understand, I think a lot of times when it comes to dating, it's not just dating I talk about, it's having the option of meeting other people. It doesn't always have to be a date. A lot of times there's a lot of people around us that are interested in us. You just may not realize it. I also think, how do I word this too? I was thinking about this the other day regarding the option thing. I was describing it to someone. And, so a lot of times too, if you get a breakup or a divorce or whatever, sometimes go back in your memory banks, because there was probably people you've met even when you were in a relationship, right? That seemed very interesting. Nice people. Doesn't mean you were in love with them at the point in time, but you were like, hey, my sister, my brother, they got that one friend that's, single. Or I met that one guy or girl, we were out that one night. They seemed really social, and they were kind of, I'm not saying they were hitting on you, but they were kind of talking to me, and I loved the conversation we had, but I couldn't really go any further. All these different types of things kind of go back and say, hey, those people, let me see if they're available just to meet up for coffee, just to have another conversation with. Because again, when you're in that one-off mindset where like, I'm only dating this one person, I only met this one person, whatever it is, you're focusing in just on that. There were other people that were probably interested in you. And again, that doesn't mean if you are kind of with somebody to a certain degree or starting a relationship or, you don't really know where it's at. I firmly believe this. If it's not that serious, have the option to go meet up with them. It doesn't, again, even have to be a date. It could be for coffee. It could be meeting up with other friends. Because, again, by meeting other people, you're going to meet other people. And kind of keeping that open mind where, like, let me just throw myself out there to meet a lot of new, interesting people. I don't even care if they're single, divorced, whatever the case may be, or even married. I'm not telling you to go with a married person. But you probably have friends that are married that know single people. Just by being, I talk a lot about this in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, is learn to be a third wheel. Don't be embarrassed. It's better than going with someone you don't really know or someone you're not interested in. Be the fifth wheel, I goof around. Go out with couples. I don't give a shit. That doesn't even mean you got to go on the date. You can meet up for drinks later. All these things, and kind of, again, keep your options open. All right, I'm just telling you, I think this is one of the things, and I was going to go back to women thinking, a lot of times they think it's slutty like to go out with a bunch of guys. I'm not telling you to go out with a bunch of guys or be on social media and take a multiple of photos with all different men, checking in all different places or going to parties all the time and hitting on men. And even with guys, I'm not telling you to be some guy who, again, is hitting on every type of woman and any of those type of things. But what I am saying is, maybe, at the beginning, you may be interested in somebody or maybe even kind of dating, but you don't have to date somebody really, 2-3 times and automatically think I'm in a relationship. Because I do believe a lot of men and women think that, right? I'm just telling you. And then as time goes on, like in 1 week or 2 weeks, you're in a relationship. How the hell does that work? Or even a month. Now, again, you could be, and that's wonderful. But is that really what you want? If it is, God bless you. But I think in 2, 3, 6 months, again, while you're with this person, I'm not saying you got to keep it open exclusively. It's not like I'm telling you also to say to go out and cheat on this person. But maybe while you're dating this person, saying, this is working out, but also let me see other people out there, what's going on. Let me see if other people are interested in me, and I'm also maybe interested in other people. Take that approach maybe if it's honest and genuine. Because I just think too many people get wrapped up with one person to the next person. And you may be even one person who does 3-4 years, next person 3-4-5 years, maybe it's 10 years, one person. And one thing I hear from a lot of people that they regret is not going out with different people, not learning, about different just environments in general, not always going to the same places they went to. If you're kind of single again, go to, if you always wanted to dance, I talk about, then go places that they're dancing. You also want to do fitness, don't just go to your gym, go to yoga, go to Pilates, meet other people, men and women, go hiking, go do whatever the hell you want to do. Don't always go in the same bar you go to. Go try different bars, try different nightclubs, go to different restaurants on different sides of town, meet different people, because a lot of times, I'm telling you, you think a lot of times, I will officially wrap it up with this, is you meet someone, and you're like, oh, wow, we have a lot in common. We love this type of food. Oh, my God, he loves movies. I love movies. Oh, this guy, he loves fashion, and I love fashion if it's a girl. Oh, this person, we both love this. That's wonderful, and God bless if that works out. But I'm going to tell you this, too. A lot of times there's other people out there that have things in common with you. There are also a lot of people that are interesting that you don't have things in common with. So you have to kind of keep an open mind. Just because you have these things in common and just because you met does not always mean that is the person you're supposed to be in a relationship with. Maybe that's the person you're supposed to be friends with. Sometimes you just got to think it that way. I'm going to wrap it up there. You got any questions, comments? Hit me up. I haven't done a relationship or a dating one in a while. Holy cow. Yeah, I have a Mastering Self-Confidence program. I talk about it all the time, or I used to, and that's to help men. But I also, lately, I've been helping more women, getting hit up by more women, too, saying, hey, Rich, if you know any single guys, can you introduce them to me? And I don't think it's easy for men or women, especially in this day and age, to date through the pandemic. Who's vaccinated, who's not, wearing masks, not wearing masks, who's safe, who isn't. It's not easy. But I am going to say, if you have, like I said earlier, you have a lot of options. Use them to your advantage, not your disadvantage, all right? And meeting people in different amounts of people in different areas, in different places, in different nationalities maybe, different religious groups, different political views. Go out and just meet new people. A lot of times we have this way of thinking, these type of people aren't for me, or that's not for me. You know what I mean? You may have just limited your options again to a certain type of person. And maybe, you just got to expand a little bit and kind of go outside that box a little bit, and you'll be shocked at what's out there. All right? Take care, and I wish everyone the best.